Okay, this is just a quick note on back on the 25th. I had done a quick video about money being taken illegally out of my account at the um, Chevron Peak gas station in Fallon, which is the Indian Reservation gas station. I had gone in there to make a purchase and I had transferred money to the card because we've been having a tremendous issue here in Fallon with identity theft and cyber crimes, and which getting my card numbers and illegal, unauthorized transactions and things like that. Getting into my online accounts, they have a serious crime ring here. And whether anybody takes it serious or not, it doesn't change the fact that I'm not the only one whose information that they're stealing. I'm not the only one whose accounts they're getting all into. You may not caught them yet, but it doesn't mean that they're not gleaning all kinds of money out of your accounts or robbing you, or many people, because they are. Anyway, um, so on the 25th, I went into the store and I transferred money to the card. And when I went to make a specific purchase for a specific amount of money, it declined my card. I thought at the time that maybe it needed a little bit more time for the transfer to go through. What I found out later was that there were several unauthorized charges on my account that had taken up the money that I had put on the card. And I've only been putting a specific amount of money that I need for exactly what I need to do on a card that I use around town because the card's been compromised too many times. And this is not anything by mistake or happenstance. This is, again, a crime ring who I'm not going to just keep letting take money from me or get into my accounts and have to keep changing everything and all that crap. So anyhow, I filed a police report with the Paiute Sheriff, Shoshone Police Department. And I had also, the very day it happened, I called them and told them what was showing up on my account. They weren't expecting that. And then the next morning, I filed with not just PayPal, a case number against them, but also of unauthorized charge, but with the Paiute Shoshone sheriff, not sheriff, police department. I had an officer come out and meet me there, and he went and talked to the manager. And they said there was no transaction. Nothing ever of that amount was ever debited from that particular location, et cetera, from Fox Peak. That was a lie. And so then they tried to say, well, it must be a mistake. They must have the wrong merchant ID. And it wasn't Fox Peak. Yes, it was. We verified that on the bank's end. It was absolutely them. What happened was when I started making a fuss about the money being taken out. Now, here it is. They used my chipped card. How did they use my chip card when it never left my possession? I went inside the store and used their thing at the counter. It had to be an employee. It was an employee. There's no ands or bits about it because they had to have the ability to reverse it and then pretend like it never happened. But see, here's the thing. The crime was already committed. Just because they did not succeed in taking the money out, the fact that they illegally used my card, my chip card, to make a transaction for an amount that I never authorized, had no knowledge of, the crime is already committed. And how many other times have they done some mess like this and just didn't get caught? And thinking just because they reverse the transaction that solves everything? Oh, hell no. No, it doesn't. And that's not going to cover up what happened. Someone who had to be an employee now. They just narrowed down who the hell it was. After I complained and reported it to two different sets of authorities, reversed the transaction and tried to pretend like it never existed and it never happened. But this is additional proof that it did happen. And no, the crime's already committed. And someone there is a thief and is stealing people's credit card, not just their number, but using the chip and stuff on their card. So they're doing it when they go in to make a transaction. And they have access to the full card. So, no, this is not okay. And this is just one of many things. And what's more, I haven't heard anything back from the Paiute Shoshone police officer whom was supposed to give me the case number and stuff like that, because I'm reporting this to, we already have FBI cybercrimes unit and stuff looking into many other incidences here in Fallon of stuff going on, because I'm being able to give them too much tangible proof of there's something really going on here. And so as much as local law enforcement and people are trying to cover it up, and local government don't want anybody to know because their asses are in on this mess, the outside world knows and is becoming very much aware of just how foul and corrupt the nonsense going on in this town really is. And again, reversing the transaction that should have never taken place in the first damn place is not enough. The crime has already been committed. And there's enough reason to ask the question, how many other times has this been done? And again, the fact that the parties involved had the ability to reverse it once it was reported and brought to the attention of law enforcement and the bank says that it had to be an employee. So I am never, ever, 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 and that used to be the only gas station I would go to, never again. And I wouldn't advise anybody else going there either. Somebody there is stealing people's chipped card information.